Hello, welcome to the Daily Juice. I'm your host, Shardene Blake, and this is your 10-minute pep talk before you start your day. Today, I want to talk about, do you pay attention to the things that make you feel good? Do you know what makes you feel good? And do you know what doesn't make you feel so good? And I'm talking about everything in your life, not just one particular area. So for example, food. Do you know when you eat something, are you paying attention to what makes you feel good, what gives you energy, what might make you feel a bit sluggish, what might slow you down, what things give you energy? Do you know those things? Do you go by the short term feeling good or the long term feeling good? So obviously you might feel like eating half a packet of biscuits feels good in the moment, but how long is that moment compared to any discomfort you might feel afterwards, any slump in energy that you might feel later on? Does it have an effect on your mind? I know for me personally, the way I eat has a direct effect on the way that I think, honestly. And I didn't know this until I started paying attention to what I was eating. I got really ill quite a few years ago, and I had no idea that the food that I put in my body could actually cause inflammation, which is what I was suffering with. So I did some research, I cut some things out of my diet, and honestly, I cannot tell you how much energy I had within about a week or 2 weeks just from removing processed foods that I was eating a lot of, refined sugars, and for me dairy and meat, and I took it out, and I just felt so great. That far outweighed my cheese addiction. I used to have cheese on absolutely everything. I love the taste of it. It has addictive properties. I had no idea at the time until afterwards. But this is the thing, I no longer drink alcohol because the tiny short-term effect of, woo, let's have a good time, I'm having a drink now, is not worth the absolutely horrendous hangover the next day, the feeling of paranoia of, oh my god, what did I do? I can't remember half the night. What happened? Did I say something to somebody that I shouldn't have said to them? This is horrendous, this mental torture. The just writing off an entire day the next day and possibly another 2 to 3 days whilst I tried to get my life back on track because I was tired. I'd eaten a load of rubbish to try and get rid of my hangover, get my mental health back to where it needed to be. All of that stuff, it just wasn't worth it. Like, I don't even need a drink to go out. I realised I didn't need a drink to dance, to talk to people. Like that, for me personally, I didn't need any of it. So I just stopped doing it, and I felt a million times better. I feel like I gained more hours in a week because I wasn't writing off like a whole day or two trying to get over the effects of alcohol. So in that instance, if someone had asked me years ago, like, what makes you feel good? I'd be like, yeah, having a drink, having a few drinks, going out. But actually, when I weighed it up, it wasn't making me feel good at all. Also thinking about, what are you reading? What are you watching on TV? There were things that I used to watch on TV that actually really affected me. Like, I would watch the news at 10 as a habit, and then I would go to bed and I wouldn't be able to sleep because what I'd seen would be playing on my mind. So what was the point in that? There was like no point in watching it. I didn't miss anything if I didn't watch the news directly before I tried to relax and go to sleep. Cut that out. I cut out reading magazines, like celebrity gossip magazines, because quite frankly, why was I wasting my time reading about people that I don't even know? And a lot of the stuff that was written was just like speculation. Was it true? He said this, she said that. How does that have any impact on my life, apart from the fact it was taking away mental capacity that I could be using on something else? It was just like a form of procrastination. It was a form of not having to deal with my own issues in my own life because I was just getting completely emotionally involved in someone else's life who I'd never even met, had no impact on at all. What a waste of time. So I stopped reading like gossip magazines, and actually it helped me so much in terms of my own self-image, because a lot of the time, a lot of the things that were written were comparing people's bodies, and I'd compare myself to someone else's body, and it spiraled into this negative self-talk, and I really beat myself up. Those things were not serving me at all. So I totally got rid of those. I just got rid of watching reality TV shows that I got totally sucked into that drama as well. And then I'd want to talk about that drama with other people. Instead of talking about ideas, instead of talking about things that I really wanted to do, I just totally put that on the back burner to talk about something that happened in like Real Housewives of wherever, or whatever reality TV show was on MTV at the time. And I think back and think that was a lot of hours that I wasted. So that totally did not serve me whatsoever. It didn't in the long term make me feel good. It constantly made me feel like a failure, because I was putting off all of the things, put off doing the things that would make me feel good and fulfilled, and things that I was passionate about. I wasn't putting as much energy into it because I had to split my energy between those other things. So think about also, who do you spend time with? Are you spending time with people who, when you come away, do you feel uplifted, or do you feel like a million times worse than when you first got there? Think about what sort of conversations you're having with people. Are people then dragging you into conversations where you're talking about things that really, are they any of your business? Do you need to be talking about it? Does it make you feel good to talk about it? All of those things, do a little audit. Am I doing things that serve me? Am I spending time with people who are helping me, uplifting me, or, giving me inspiration to do the things that I want to do? And am I doing that for them? Or are we constantly in this little pity party of, oh, this will never work, or have you seen what that person's doing? Oh, aren't they ridiculous? And are you having those sort of conversations? Like really, really just take a minute to think about your day-to-day life, and how many hours of your day are you spending on things that probably aren't the best thing for you, and what can you replace them with? Can you replace reading gossip magazines with reading a personal development book? Or even any book that might make you feel good. It could be a novel, it could be anything. It could be a cookbook, a recipe book you could get some ideas for, dinners that you can make. Like, how can you swap that time out? Can you swap watching the news before bed? Can you swap that out for a guided meditation, so that you are actually truly relaxed, everything's out of your head from the day, and you don't have to worry about anything before you go to sleep? Can you swap out eating like half a packet of biscuits for actually thinking, is this an emotional need that I'm trying to fill? Which was totally the case for me. I was a massive emotional eater, and now I feel like I have addressed a lot of those things, which means that I don't have to stuff those emotions down with biscuits. Can you tell I was a biscuit eater? I know there's loads of things that you can eat, but I think I really was a biscuit eater. But it was recognising, actually, I'm not even hungry. And I read a book, and in the book it said, if you're not hungry, food won't help. And that is so true, because whatever emotional thing that I was trying to stuff down, and it was a discomfort thing, it was something emotionally that I felt like, oh, I don't really want to deal with this, where's the biscuits? And I just felt worse, because as I was stuffing it down, it's almost like that emotional discomfort was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually was going to have to come out in some way, shape or form. So I was just putting off the inevitable. So today, have a think. When you're going through your day-to-day, just think, does this serve me? Does this conversation serve me? Or can I just say, do you know what, I'm really sorry, but I've got to go? And have a think about other things that you could talk about. Are you reading things that make you feel good, uplifted, inspired, motivated, or not? And what could you swap that out for? Just think. Your reality is in your hands, and you can curate your day in any way you want to. you just have to be conscious of it instead of just walking into those habits you've created for yourself that might not be the best habit. And actually, can I just remind you all, make sure you drink some water, because there's nothing like it for getting rid of tiredness, improving mental clarity. So stay hydrated, okay? And I will see you really soon for another Daily Juice. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe and turn on your notifications.